everybody, welcome to the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. We're in the playoffs. And we are tonight going to see the finals between 2Calculated2Throw and Clouded Minds. The number 1 and number 2 seeds coming out of the Fallen Angel division. Hey guys, come on. And as you can tell, even Alice is very excited to see this match. We've got a great setup tonight. It's going to be best of 5. We've got bans on 4 maps, so we could quite literally see every single map in the pool being played or banned. So let's take a quick look at those map picks and bans here. And what do we got? So for the bans coming out from 2Calculated2Throw, we've got Alterac Pass and Towers of Doom. For Clouded Minds, it's going to be the Battlefield of Eternity and Cursed Hollow. Let me just let them know I'm ready. Our first map is going to be picked by Clouded Minds on Braxis Holdout. And in order to get to these finals, these teams had to take a bit of a road. So let's actually show you what they look like during the regular season. So again, 2Calculated2Throw was number 1 at 19 points. Clouded Minds came in at 16 points, so very close on these 1 and 2s. And those brackets again. Oh my goodness, Al, buddy. So in the first round, 2Calculated2Throw defeated Do It Right 2-1. Clouded Minds over Zul'jin Distillery 2-0. And it looks like our teams are ready to go. So what do you say? Why don't we get this going here? Get into this draft. And there it is. Braxis Holdout. Alrighty. And yes, we do have the doggos. In fact, all of them have come out for the excitement. They are now all trying to sleep on the same bed. This should be entertaining because the smallest one was there first, and the other 2 are not too excited about this. But that's enough about Alpha and Alice. See what we get out of this first ban on Braxis Holdout. So we can see a lot of control. So heroes like Rexar, heroes like Chen, Sonya still, and in the bot lane, maybe some more of the good old Johanna. Then you've got other heroes like the Junkrat, which is getting banned out. You've got the Kael'thas, Orphea, even ETC, like Garrosh. These are heroes that are going to provide a lot of control over these points and really set the plays up. Let's see, who was it? Imperius. On top of that, though, you also have to consider the fast rotations. Things like a Sylvanas gets a lot of value here, especially with the Zerg wave. You've also got the Genji being able to hop the walls, get over here quickly, maybe even a Hanzo. And there's the Kael'thas. So a little bit of a different strategy. It looks like in general, you know, these are heroes on the right side from Clouded Minds that are a little bit more map specific, or player specific, but also map specific. Whereas the Imperius and Rhaegar, not necessarily super great. Like they're not the top tier, but certainly can do well. Watching on Wi-Fi, oh buddy. And Jaina's going to be the first pick here. For the 2Calculated2Throw folks. What am I showing you there? Psychic? Show you stars? But on the right here, we've got that Johanna and Stukov. Johanna and Stukov. So again, Johanna's going to be very difficult to take off the point. And Stukov makes it very difficult to stay on the point. Between his knockbacks and his ability to just simply prevent any of your abilities from happening, makes it very difficult. I'm going to take these off. It's hard to see. Can't actually see who's playing these heroes with those on. And type these in here. But there's that Rexar and Li Ming. So Li Ming is another hero that gets a lot of value on this because you've got heroes sitting on those control points. Makes it very easy to bomb in those arcane orbs. Now, heroes we haven't talked about, though, keep in mind, there are some newly adjusted heroes. You've got some very strong Zagara play, some what's his name, Nazebo. Khalazad has gotten some updates, although he's a little bit of a different setup here with his chains not quite working out as well. So we've got our solo laner in Rexxar. We could see something like an Artanis for the swaps. We could see a Thrall into that Rexxar. We could even see a Chen. I think I wouldn't mind seeing a Sonya with the changes that Sonya has received. And it's going to be Gul'dan there, the final ban coming out from 2Calculated. His old ass eyes. It's not the eyes. It's Murda had the same problem. It's the polarization of the sunglasses. Like, I can look at this screen fine. That screen doesn't work. Like, I can barely see certain colors. But there we go. So Kira is going to be an interesting pick here. So there is no tank yet selected, and Garrosh is still available. But we also have now an Orphea. So Garrosh does get a little bit of a challenge there into the Stukov. But I think overall that Garrosh wouldn't mind that. But it is a double mage here on the side of 2Calculated2Throw as well. So they're going to go with the Diablo and Lucio. And where's Lucio? Let's see. Fear is playing Rexxar. Galdrace is playing Lucio. There we go. So what do we need? We still need our solo laner, so I don't know. We'll see. Mystic calling out Azmodan. Of course, Venus bringing in the Azmodan. So interesting. Okay, so it's probably going to be Kira in the off lane, and that gets really interesting because Kira can just stack her level 1 quest off of Misha fairly easily, and she can dive in onto Rexxar. So that, I actually really like that. Gonna have to be really careful about positioning and paying attention there. Shui, I honestly have no idea. Maybe one of them might. All right, Braxis holdout, everybody. Game number 1 between 2Calculated2Throw and Clouded Minds in this best of 5 series. Now, we didn't really talk a lot about that Azmodan pickup, but that, again, is a hero that on a map like this where you've got people potentially clumping onto these control points certainly could be of value, could certainly stack pretty quickly. Keeping in mind, of course, this is a very spread out team on the side of 2Calculated2Throw. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to stack. But let's go ahead and get our teams introduced here. On the left, we have 2Calculated2Throw, the number 1 seed out of the Fallen Angel division of XGDI. We've got Hunter X playing Li Ming, Jurgen Derb on Jaina, X Havoc going to be playing Diablo, Galdrace on Lucio, and Fear on the Rexxar. And over here, Clouded Minds, the NGS Season 7 Division D champions. Tiger's going to be playing the Kira. Orphea is going to be played by Swing. Star Knight's got that Stukov. Venus on the Azmodan, and Zednam on Johanna. All right, let's take a look here. So Li Ming coming over, getting a little damage in the mid lane, you know, very important to get that quick siege number up for your Li Ming. But take a look at some of these talents. So we do have the Spell Armor for Li Ming there. Party Mix for Lucio, and Rexxar going into this easy prey. So that's going to help him with boss plays, ultimately, if he decides to go that route. Up here, we do have Kira stacking that Fatal Wounds talent here, getting the dot damage going. But ultimately here, Tiger's doing all right. Using about half of his mana, though. Laws of Hope for the Johanna, and I believe that's low blow. Is that low blow? It is. So a little bit more damage there when Stukov drops that silence, as he does in the back line there. Zednam falling a little bit low. It is the Hunter X. That is correct. Control points now coming online here. Let's check in on Azmodan. How's stacking going for Azmodan? Sitting at 19 stacks. So doing all right here so far. Make that 25 stacks. And Zednam getting flipped there, but it's going to be Jaina getting caught, slowed, and deleted. First blood going over to Clouded Mines. And second blood as Rexar taken out by Tiger up in the top lane. That's going to give them a channel here very soon. Gonna have to go back and watch the replay for that one. I can guess how that went down, but it's not gonna matter. When you've got grappling hook and revolving sweep, you can get a lot of damage out of that Kira. Diablo charging the Zednam out there, Blizzard coming out, and does get some slow and some damage there onto that Johanna front line, popping that Laws of Hope as well. A lot of damage coming out here, but ultimately nobody really falling too low. Stukov spreading a lot of healing, but there's the Azmodan taking just a massive amount of damage into that hefty health pool. And Starnet is pretty low on the mana, certainly lower than the Lucio. But still in the control of Clouded Mines here. And there goes a big Blizzard onto the control point there, getting a lot of damage, but it's going to be Jaina falling once again to Orphea. And these Zerg are coming in the opposite lane for Clouded Mines. Rexar's not going to be able to do a whole lot against this massive Zerg wave coming in. Not by himself, especially with Misha at about 10% of her health there. And we do see Diablo rotating up. I think ideally, as much fun as it would be to have Jaina trying to stack down here, they need to rotate her up into the top lane to deal with this Zerg. It's falling down a bit, but that's still just a ton of damage coming out from this wave, and the additional ranged minions, I guess. I don't know what those are called. We'll find out. They're called Guardians. All right. So there you go. Down in the bot lane, Li Ming trying their best. Hunter throwing out these missiles and orbs, trying to push back the Clouded Mines a bit here. Level 4s were picked up a little while ago, so we'll showcase those. It is a orb build coming out from the Li Ming. Arcane Intellect, or is that? Yeah, Arcane Intellect for Jaina. So a little bit of a deviation there from the kind of standard build. That's going to give Jaina a lot of extra mana return, especially with that Fingers of Frost at level 1. And we do have that armor penalty, or armor bonus, I guess, your pain, my gain for the Kira. And that makes a ton of sense into what she's facing up here with the Misha, being able to stack on Misha very easily. Pretty much means that Kira should have 30 armor almost the whole time. I did not play StarCraft at all. Sorry. And it looks like Orphea gonna go into that Dread quest at level 7 as well here. So that's gonna give additional damage and eventually a cooldown reduction if she hits a hero with the end of that. With just the tip. So we've got the Azmodan up here potentially pushing, although it looks like 2Calculated is going to rotate it up to deal with that. Now it is Frostbolt at 7 here, so we're going to see the reduced cooldown, but keep in mind we don't have it for the piercing, so it does reduce a little bit the kill pressure that Jaina can bring, and offsetting that, of course, by having the additional mana and what's the other thing? Oh, it's just additional mana if they're chilled. Okay. Hey, thanks, Grievant. Much appreciate the subscription. What else we got over here? So continuing with the orb build, getting that additional damage. The level 7 talent here from Lucio. Getting the reverse amp and additional Misha charge with the reduced cooldown there. These guys look to be kind of hanging out for a moment, so let's check in up here. So Misha's probably about to fall here, is going to die. And that's going to push Rexar back. So Rexar is not in a position to come in onto Kira onto that point. He just simply has no abilities. And especially at level 1, he doesn't even do the additional damage to minion waves without Misha there, so. Blizzard coming out into the team there. And again, this is a 4v4 here in the bot. Hunter trying to get the flank and throw out those bombs. The Azmodan lieutenants, warriors, whatever they are, doing some work helping to prevent some of those attacks getting into the team. And there goes Blizzard again onto the backline there. Big charge onto Venus, but it's going to be Diablo who gets a little bit too far forward, and that's going to be another kill from Clouded Minds. So far, 4-0 in the kill count here. Tiger once again trying to take out this Misha, because Misha being out of this fight means Kira wins. I mean, Rexar is basically as good as dead if he comes onto that point. So this is going to be, once again, a free, quote-unquote, Zerg wave over to Clouded Minds, and they pick up level 10s. And this is a tough place to be now for the next 2/3 of a level for 2Calculated2Throw. They do have the Jaina for the Zerg clear, and Li Ming as well. Li Ming can do some with if she places those orbs correctly to get the biggest burst possible. Has to be careful on the mana, although with that level 4 talent is getting the mana return. But a lot of damage going out on a Star Knight with the Blizzard. But being a little bit far forward there, Johanna is able to step up and help to finish off the Jaina there. And while this Zerg is falling a little bit lower here, getting pushed onto this keep wall, as Lucio also taking just a truckload of damage. Let's take a look at some of these heroics. What have you got as level 10 is available for both sides? There is the lightning breath coming out from the Diablo. So we've got the sound barrier disintegrate from Li Ming. That's going to help her with that Zerg clear as well. It is going to be the water elemental, and of course we saw that lightning breath. On the side of Clouded Minds here, as we are going to see Kira try to use that final strike to get the kill onto Rexar, and she does. But it is going to be a rotation here from Diablo. Doesn't get the stun onto Kira, and she does probably still have grappling hook. But instead uses the revolving sweep to get the additional damage onto Diablo. And we can see trying to get that stacking dot up onto as many people as possible to get the heal. Diablo, though, charging in to get the kill, ends up sacrificing his 100 souls for the play. So aside from that, as Kira was doing just Kira things, diving all over the place and securing kills, we did have Clouded Minds pick up their camp in the bot lane, so Rexar is going to finish that here, and there's the 200 stacks for Azmodan here at level 12, just under 10 minutes. Zednim falling low, but Stukov hitting that bio kill switch, giving about half of her health back. It looks like a clean disengage here from the Clouded Minds, getting a little bit of damage coming in from the Li Ming orbs. But anyways, the rest of these ultimates here. So we've got the Blessed Shield from Johanna. Is it Tides of Sin? Is that what this is called? Tide of Sin. For Azmodan, Flailing Swipe out of the Stukov, helping with those disengages. And Eternal Feast for Kira. So not a lot of lockdown here for the Eternal Feast, but certainly enough to provide zone pressure. You know, you've got the Condemn, you've got the Blessed Shield, so you can lock him down for at least a couple of seconds to keep him in there. Even with Orphea being able to slow, actually, does Johanna have... She took Blessed Momentum, so she doesn't have Subdue for that 2-second 80% slow, but still, I mean, Punish still provides a slow. Beacons are available now, and we've got a 5-man push here from 2Calculated2Throw in the bot lane. They're going to go ahead and rotate up, it looks like, as Clouded Minds pressuring this top fort should be able to take it down, especially with the assistance of the Demon Lieutenant. But here's that rotation, and there's no Kira here, so this is a 5 versus 4 as 2Calculated getting their first charge here. Star Knight getting pulled in, and the Lightning Breath is going to get that kill. Swing coming down to get onto the point. Doesn't have a whole lot of time on it, though, as, oh, Swing getting charged by the Diablo. Unfortunately, no DPS nearby to help secure that kill, and no level 16 for an additional flip or charge off of flip. So ultimately, Orphea's going to make it out there. And now Rexar completing that armor quest, so that's going to help out immensely here, given that 15 armor to both Rexar and Misha. Misha taking a lot of damage here as Tiger making use of that revolving sweep to push the bear back in towards the towers. And again, Rexar is not a whole lot here at this point. He does auto attacks and he does that swoop, so not much. A little bit of a slow. That's what Rexar brings at this point. He's really a lot more of a liability at this point, potentially giving the enemy team XP. But he does rotate down to get the point at the bottom. Revolving sweep going out onto Jurgen needs that ice block. I don't think they have it yet, though. Not quite. Just still a few thousand away. Hunter X falling low, has to get out of there. The final strike nearly connecting there, but not quite enough to get the kill. And 2Calculated2Throw pulling back here, as they do have the Rexar. That last globe, just a parting gift from Azmodan. Not enough to connect, but Kira's now going to get the channel going in the other direction again for Clouded Mines. So 18% picked up by 2Calculated2Throw. Still a fair bit for them to go. And they do have Misha again, but their only ultimate now is Lightning Breath. And check out the bush gank. And Hunter throwing out the damage onto the wave, but didn't check the bush there. And that bush party is gonna get the kill onto Diablo. It looks like also Kira coming in after the Li Ming, and that's gonna drop the spell armor there. And ultimately that damage over time effect from those fatal wounds gonna help to secure that kill, even though the final strike didn't have to connect to make that happen. It looks like Cloud Mines is gonna come in and pick up the boss, as they do have 2 kills. And depending on which lane this boss goes, if it goes top lane, this could very well be an end game push, as level 16's available here for Clouded Mines, and this boss is going down very quickly. Li Ming is orb build there, drunk dwarf, not drunken dwarf. And that is a top lane boss, so if they can get onto this control point, then that probably just wins the game. But Tiger's just getting melted here by this lightning breath. 12 health! And the shield from Lucio not quite there to save Diablo, so it didn't matter that the final strike missed. Diablo does fall. And the boss is heading toward the top keep here. Which, in all seriousness, is probably a best case scenario for 2Calculated2Throw, because that gives them the opportunity to start damaging this boss before there's also a Zerg wave. But Kira is heading up there, so that Zerg wave is going to be on its way here soon. Oh no, and Lucio might not fall. He's fine. Boop back into the orb. And I think right now, if I'm 2Calculated2Throw, I think that this bottom keep is just done, and you need to clear out that boss, because that Zerg wave with the boss just ends the game. The boss is down, but this is all coming right into this keep. And Rexar is now down as well. I think that if they just sacrifice, give this keep up here, that they have a better defense up top and maybe even survive. But with these kills here coming in, because now Hunter X is going to fall here. Ice Block does get popped, but there goes the Eternal Feast, and X Havoc just cannot get out of it. The body blocks are real as Galdriai is falling, and that's a 5-man team wipe here for Clouded Mines coming in, making a statement on game number 1, 2 kills to 16, and bringing this core down in rapid fashion. Oh, 7th Ace over there snoozing about the Subdue talent. Love Subdue, it's my favorite talent. On Johanna, I should say. All right, well then, let's give them their victory. I would love to show you the stats page, but it is not an approved stats page, so we'll have to just stick with this. Actually, I might be able to overload that or override that. Let me see if that works. Maybe not. I thought there was a stats. Maybe not. Oh well, okay. Oh, subdue is... Oh, that's not the sleepy. I gotcha. I get it, 7th Ace. That's not sleepy. That's the O face. My bad. Fair enough. Alrighty then. Talents shown. Stats shown. Let's come back to my pretty face. I put the sunglasses back on because... you know, I need a little bit for this reflection off the dome. Because it is what it is. Now, I do want to say, you know, give me 1 second here. Eventually, this will get put up. I just got this. I have to say, I am a big fan of this. This was the print for Heroes of the Storm. It was the Blizzard print here. It might be a little bit hard to see. If you haven't checked it out in some of the Discords where I posted it, it's really awesome. And I can't wait to get that put up. It's probably... Really, Alice? Joe? It's probably going to go somewhere around here. We'll see. But that thing is just so cool. It looks really awesome. It has a variety of different heroes. Not all similar types of heroes either. Some new, some older. So it's really cool. If you haven't checked them out, I don't know what the rest of them are. In fact, there's another one coming up soon. I don't know what the November one was. Now that I think about it, I don't know if they even announced the November one. Maybe they stopped doing it when they changed the gear store. So never mind. I have no idea. So, anyways, 2Calculated2Throw has the choice of map pick or first pick. Let's see, that was these guys over here. And you know what? Why don't we take a look at what those maps are? It is best of 5 Drunk Dwarf. Let's take a look at this. So we could potentially see all of these maps tonight. At least the ones that didn't get banned. Dragonshire, Infernal Shrines, Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Volskaya Foundry. So I think at this point, if you're 2Calculated2Throw, what's your biggest value? Do you really want that first pick? Because if you win, you definitely are going to see at least 3 more maps. And if you lose, well, you might only see 1 more after that. So 3 more maps. You're going to likely see all but maybe 1 of these or 2 of these. So the reality of it is you have to now decide, would you rather have that first pick or would you rather have a last pick? Do you want to be able to set the tone of the game, or do you want to be able to respond to what the enemy team's got? I'm a big fan of the response. I like to know what they're doing, but it just depends. There are certainly times where a first pick really provides a lot of value, whether it's because you want to pick something like a Sylvanas to allow you to push, maybe a Medivh to really alter the state of the game, or maybe you just really want that Johanna pick. Who knows? We should know soon, though, in theory. Hopefully. One of these teams will reach out to us and tell us what's going on. Let's see if we've got anything here. Let's see here. Now, the funny thing is that if I'm not looking directly at it, if I look at it kind of out of the side, I can actually see it. But then I look funny. All right, so we're going to Volskaya Foundry. I think this is a really, personally, I find this to be a really enjoyable map. Ah, okay. So it looks like this is the selection of Clouded Mines. As 2Calculated2Throw wanted the first pick. So Volskaya Foundry, again, another map with control points. So many of those same heroes are going to be found here. I 100% expect the bans coming from Clouded Mines to be exactly the same. Junkrat, Kael'thas. They're out. There's no chance that either of those heroes make it onto this map for 2Calculated2Throw. Imperious, Rhaegar, Gul'dan, and Arthas were the other bans. Imperious I've seen do a lot of work here. And Rhaegar's just a solid hero. If you know, if you're really good at Rhaegar, then fair enough. You know, ban out the comfort picks, make it a little bit more difficult so for your opponents. So we'll have to wait and see. And there is our 10th. So we do have all 10 players. 5 from 2Calculated2Throw, 5 from Clouded Mines. And it looks like we do have a swap on the players. Let's go ahead and update that. Grievant coming in. Need more hot shots, says Grievant. A shout out to Weenus there, who does occasional hot shots on his channel. Fear, X Havoc, Galdrace. Okay. How you guys doing tonight? It's a Monday night. This is a late cast, starting at 10 o'clock. Best of 5, so he was amazing. Mona Dirt. Hey, you know what? I got a members computer. Oh, we have gifts. How do I share these? What do I do with this? Oh, wow, there are lots of gifts. I can distribute gifts, people. I have 17 gifts. Apparently, y'all are about to get some gifts. Hey, look at that. I don't know what any of that means, but you guys got some twin eggs and stuff, so happy Thanksgiving, I guess. For Grievant August, Bellis, and Young Shocker. So I'm guessing TFT is Team Fight Tactics. So enjoy whatever that is, whatever a twin egg and skin shard is. All right, folks. It's game number 2 coming up, Volskaya. And we'll see what kind of adjustments here 2Calculated makes. Because I expect basically that Clouded Mines is going to stick with their bans, as I mentioned earlier. Hey, come here. All right, here we go. First ban coming up. It's going to be Kira. And you know what? I don't even hate that. Kira did a lot of work that game. There's the Junkrat. Didn't even think about it. They knew exactly what they wanted to get rid of. Welcome. This is my Guardian Alpha here. She has been officially placed next to my chair to keep the other dogs at bay. Our second ban coming up here. So the Stukov ban. So Stukov also did a lot of work. And on a control point map like this, much like on Braxis, really makes it hard. Now, that's interesting. Changing to the Lunara. Now, I think that is a change in their lineup because they have Grievant, and I think that the Lunara is related to the Grievant. But we are going to see Kael'thas being the first pickup here for Jürgenderb. And Kael'thas on a map like this, it's very difficult because he changes your positioning. on Volskaya Foundry, and it's, hey, be nice. It's a little bit crazy because people like to stack. Only one person's required on the control point, but people like to get in there and get dirty, if you will. And so a hero like Kael'thas makes that significantly more dangerous, because while you're in there, he's going to start throwing living bombs, and you're very likely to spread them. And if you don't, then you scatter, and that's where it becomes easier for the team to pick you off. But we're going to see the Ana Johanna. Almost sounds like the banana, I don't know, banana nana fofana song. I don't know. It's been so long since I've heard that. But Ana Johanna, it just rolls off the tongue. Hey, Double Damn! It's good to see you. Welcome. And there's the Rexar band. So that is interesting. That's an interesting band. Fear saying what? I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I don't know that that was necessary. I could be wrong. And there's the Gul'dan. So, in Gul'dan, you know, I mean, an AoE Horrify would be really brutal too. The Arthas with the slows would be able to help land all those corruptions, get the additional Fel Flames. I don't know that I mentioned Arthas Anduin here over on the other side, so, you know, that does allow for Arthas to have a bit of an escape. And the Raynor Jaina gonna really provide a ton of value into that Raynor with the slows coming out from Arthas and Jaina. So that ace in the hole at level 1, basically just a permanent 15% increase for Raynor. And Arthas. Our last two gonna be Phoenix and Malthael. And that is an interesting setup. So most likely it's Malthael in the off lane. But I could see a world where Phoenix goes in the off lane if Arthas is your solo laner. I'm assuming it's not, but it, in theory, could be. Final pick here for Tiger is going to be Mal'Ganis. So either one of those two tanks could be in the solo lane, and either one of those could probably, like, I could see Phoenix just going into the solo and just being just fine. I think Malthael gets a lot of value. You got a couple of high hit point targets here. Anduin could take the shield, but there's still a fair number of ways to block it. So Johanna's going to be up in your face. You've got Kael'thas and Ana both who can launch long range abilities to interrupt it. So I think it's probably still Light Bomb, especially with the Mal'Ganis there. Hey. Make sure I've got everybody on the right heroes. It looks like I do. Come here. Come here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2, Volskaya Foundry in the finals of the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. 2Calculated2Throw, the number 1 seed, versus Clouded Minds, the number 2 seed here. And let's get this show on the road here. Gonna go ahead and start on the right side because that's where it queued us up. On the right, we've got Clouded Minds currently up 1-0. Swing gonna be playing the Jaina, Star Knight on Anduin, Venus on the Raynor, Tiger on Mal'Ganis, and Zednam on the Arthas. And for 2Calculated2Throw, we've got Jurgenderb on the Kael'thas, showing off that big taunt. Havoc gonna be playing the Johanna, Fear on Phoenix, Galdrias on the Ana, and Grievant on the Malthael. And you can already tell Malthael there just booking it with that Pale Horse. I don't even need to look at that talent to know that that's what he took. But we have advanced targeting here for the Phoenix, getting the additional auto attack damage from the laser spins and eventually that third laser spin. It's going to be Mana Addict for Kael'thas. and the Iron Skin upgrade as well there. Fear getting the stun and then root. But check out those living bombs. Look at all those living bombs. 4 bomb spreads. That means that that one person hit everybody. And that is what I was talking about on the control point. That's going to cause a lot of problems. We do see the grenade build here for the Ana as well. I sure hope so. I hope it's a subdue. Especially into, you know, somebody like an Arthas who's going to be really slow to begin with. It's a bold strategy coming out from the Anduin. Johanna, I already talked about. Mal'Ganis going, is that Aura? Time to feed. Okay, so time to feed. So he's going to be their solo, I think. Which makes sense, because Tiger was the solo last round, too. And they are getting the slows on to Mal'Ganis, but Mal'Ganis is just walking away. He doesn't even care. But I don't know what I was talking about soloing, because it's actually going to be Raynor versus Malthael in the bot lane, at least for now, as it looks like Clouded Mind's going for more of a 1-1-3, as both teams now here picking up their siege fortifications, rather. Zoom all the way out so we can keep track of that here. What else do we have? Fingers of Frost, Ace in the Hole I mentioned, and the Howling Blast talent there for Arthas. So many of these are pretty much, you know, what you'd expect. And Tiger going in here is going to get stunned. Probably going to pop that Night Rush soon. Does put the Kael'thas to sleep. Still a lot of damage, though. Is slowed a bit. But does make it out just fine, as the previously mentioned Siege Camp is actually being picked up now on the side of Clouded Minds. And this Raynor versus Malthael going very well in favor of Raynor. Might get the kill, and does. First blood going over to Clouded Minds. And I believe... I don't know where it is. Never mind. I was gonna give Venus a little squeaky, but I must put it away in a drawer. It's not on my desk anymore. Siege Camp now picked up on the left here for 2Calculated2Throw. But with this 5 versus 4 here, we're going to see a fight over the Biotic Emitter. And there goes the turret to help as well on the side of 2Calculated. Must have... No, it's there on Star Knight. A lot of damage going on to Venus, getting that Flame Strike onto the Raynor. But ultimately, they're just a skirmish to help those DPS numbers, maybe even help out... Oh, Jaina. Jaina sitting at 0 chill damage currently. So... keep an eye out on that, because of course that provides a huge bonus there. Not only the ice block, never mind, mostly just the ice block, because Fingers of Frost is the additional 10% damage when she gets all the globes, so never mind. But yes, that ice block is very, very important to the Jaina. Very short cooldown and gives her immunity there. So level 7s as well coming up here. The referees. Thank you, Valkymer. I think I'm officially a referee. Am I a referee? I am a referee. There you go, buddy. And here comes that control point. So all 5 coming in as 70% mark hit for 2Calculated2Throw here. But they will pull back as they don't have level 7s yet. They also are fighting eventually into both the Biotic Emitter that Zednam's carrying and Star Knight with that turret. Picking up that level 7, coming back into this fight very soon. 25% now complete for Clouded Minds, as they are going to get in on the invade here. Malthael having to pull back, but a little bit of a flank maneuver here coming in from 2Calculated2Throw. But ultimately, at 50% now for Clouded Minds, 2Calculated2Throw is going to be able to get their turret camp. Now, Fear doesn't have any shielding, so has to be a little bit cautious about timing and positioning here. And there's the root hitting the Phoenix, the Biotic Emitter in the back here. And there goes the sleep. Night Rush coming out from Tiger. Once again, Fear has no shield. The Chastise hitting the Phoenix, and down goes Mal'Ganis. The turret also used here, getting damage done into the Arthas. And the living bombs spreading and bringing these health bars down. Swing might very well go down here as the grenade helping to secure that kill. Although the counter kill coming in onto the Phoenix here. This is a 3 versus 4 here. I was going to say, where's the 4th? So a little bit dangerous for Clouded Minds to go into that, but they do stall it out for a moment, so their Arthas is going to be back and available. And it looks like they'll even be able to get onto this as overtime here, 4 versus 4. And they've got both of their frontliners here. No Jaina, though. Living Bomb getting just massive work done there on the backline as Anduin falling very low. These health bars are very low on the side of Clouded Minds here. The big condemn in with the punish and that massive subdue. Star Knight getting very low, could fall to this Living Bomb and does. Jaina also no healing possible from that on a grenade, and that's going to give 2Calculated2Throw the first Punisher of the game as Zednam now heading back. Weena's the only defender in this mid lane. All right. And Weena's having to go back as well as 200 health on the side of that Raynor. A little bit low. Full wall taken down here for 2Calculated. Getting that mid wall down, gathering that XP. And we do have level 10s popping up higher. And check it out, baby. We got a Planet Cracker. I don't know why, but we got it. Because we do have also a Pyroblast, Last Rites, Blessed Shield, and Nano Boost. So fully expect to see that Nano Pyro combo coming out here. And you know what? I think if I'm into it, I take the Salvation. I think you have to. But yes, there are some interrupts, and there it is. There are some interrupts, but you know what? I mean, it's all or nothing. You got to get the interrupt, or you got to prevent the damage from that Last Rites or that Nano Pyro. But we do see there Raynor getting the kill once again onto Malthael. And here he comes rotating up into the top lane. About half of that fort is down. And there comes the Blizzard from Jaina, instantly deleting the Ana. She's just gone. Johanna as well, taking loads of damage, gets rooted. And Phoenix gets root as well. Does barely get that warp out. And Raynor coming in with the siege damage from the Hyperion. And that's going to give Clouded Minds the opportunity now to push in on this wall. They don't have any minions. And Arthas doesn't have Army of the Dead, so he can't use his fake minions. There's no Asmodan like they had last game. But here come those minions, as mentioned. But let's check this out. So we got Carrion Swarm, we did get the Salvation, Ring of Frost, Hyperion, and Army of the Dead. And you know, you don't see Salvation a lot, especially into a team that's got 3 different types of interrupts. But it doesn't have to be the 30% heal, or 20, 25, 30%? Okay, 25%. 30% is the upgrade. It's essentially just, if nothing else, if timed right, it's just an immunity. You block the damage, call it a day, move on with your life. But it is going to require some important timing there. So that's going to be up to Star Knight to really be paying attention and timing that so that they don't just give themselves a free target, a free gravity lapse death, on a sleep dart, things like that. So Tiger going in onto the team here is going to Night Rush, but gets interrupted, and that's going to be a kill coming out thanks to that Johanna Blessed Shield interrupting and keeping Tiger locked down for that kill. And that's going to give now 2Calculated2Throw. They're pushing in on this top fort. This should be okay for them to win with the siege camp and minions, and that is what they're looking for. Coming in hard after game number 1, looking a little bit shaky with that double mage comp, but in game number 2, this has been a very strong 2Calculated game. But Clouded Minds, they're not without their really significant value moments either. Raynor's provided a couple of kills onto that Malthael. They've managed to lock down and kill the Ana earlier, as well as the Johanna as well. So, you know, these teams are there's a reason these are the number 1 and number 2 seeds out of this bracket, and they're playing it well. And there's the pull onto the Raynor, possibly spreading the Living Bomb, not quite. Close. Jaina sitting about halfway on her quest. And this is one of those control points where it's easy to start getting those stacks. So let's check out here. Level 13, we do have the Holy Fury here from Johanna, giving that additional AoE damage. But Fear is getting low. The root coming out, not yet able to warp, or maybe tried to warp here, as Johanna in the back, slowing things down and making sure that he can get out all of the abilities used onto that carrion swarming Mal'Ganis. Pyroblast, Lats Rights, nothing's gonna happen when he's off the map, and that's gonna be a kill onto the Kael'thas, follow-up kill onto the Phoenix, and biotic emitter used in the background there with the Army of the Dead. Nobody's even bothering with the Protector. They know that they can focus on this tower here with that army. Now, army is gone. And the turret's a little bit far back. It can't provide any value for the tower to attack, so they've got to at least wait for a moment as the minions are coming in. Malthael doing what they can to get Soak caught back up here. 2Calculated's actually slightly ahead on the XP, but that will equal out the structures in top lane, and that's going to give them both the occasional catapult pressure. Of course, 2Calculated also did get this mid fort here just a few moments ago thanks to the Malthael pressure. And 60%, so there's enough time for Malthael to get up here, especially with that Pale Horse, so they don't have to go force this here as Malthael's not here. And Malthael left the turret because he already had one. So there you go, just getting that XP. Malthael here, but very low, is basically just a walking corpse there. And this is quite split. Let's zoom out even farther here. So Mal'Ganis doing work on the Kael'thas and Ana in the background there, but because they're so split, Phoenix is gonna fall, and X Havoc here has absolutely no mana. Is able to use the Iron Skin. It's gonna go away soon though, and looking for the root from the Chastise is gonna land it. So 96%. Here comes the siege damage again from the Rainer. And that's going to get some extra damage here onto those towers. And secure them a second Protector. This time for... or I guess it should be not a second. The second Protector. This time going over to Clouded Mines. And yes, this is best of 5. It does say that, right? Yeah, it says it right at the top. So Johanna getting some damage in there. We do have a player, it looks like, left the game, so we'll have to see if they recognize that. And it sounds like Phoenix is back, so no pause there. And Healing Well taken out very quickly here. Bottom wall as well. You're going to be having to pop that Mana Addict shield, as the damage from the Protector bringing him down to about half here. But Johanna getting rooted, lot of damage coming in, is having to pull back, and that's going to be the bottom fort coming out. Swing just fine. Jaina's not going down to that, and a full duration heal on that, but the living bomb's coming out, so that is another factor of that, is of course everybody wants to be close in for that salvation. Fear making use of that warp here. Jürgen doesn't have a shield. That's going to be a dead Kael'thas, I think. And indeed, now Ana as well, dropping the turret. That's going to go over now to Clouded Mines. So Clouded Mines evening out the overall structures in the game. 2 down on either side, but this definitely favors Clouded Mines for the next control point, as that's going to be coming down here in the bot lane. And this is a control point that always causes chaos. And I don't know, it's hard to say whether you'd rather be the defending team or whether you'd rather be the aggressive team. I generally think that for many teams, or for many team comps, that being the aggressor is better on that particular control point. And we'll see what happens. So I think that, you know, you can certainly get down there, start the channel. You know, we'll be close to level 20s, so if one team or another is interested in getting that level 20 beforehand, they can certainly get that done. But it just seems to me that it's generally easier to come in and force somebody out than it is to be on that control point and defend it. And I like this, you know, we see that Clouded Mines was up in the top, so 2Calculated is trying to get some value here. Maybe a little bit far forward there on the Johanna. Big gravity lapse there onto Mal'Ganis. But that's going to be the root onto Phoenix. And turret was used. 2 turrets, in fact, here. Big root out into the back line. And that's going to be Ana and Phoenix going down. I think that it's very likely Grievant makes it away. But that's all that 2Calculated can do. We do see the gravity lapse coming in onto the Rainer. And Iron Skin used to get Johanna out of there here. That was a lot of movement speed. How did she get that much movement speed? Oh, the level 16, I bet. Yep. So every time she takes damage, gets a little bit of a boost in that movement speed. And with those 2 kills, Clouded Mines now a little bit closer to 20. They're about a level and a quarter or so ahead, and they're gonna make that work here in this bottom lane. They're gonna get that fort or keep wall taken down. And they got to be really careful here. 2Calculated2Throw is, you know, they can't really push too far forward on this. And don't forget, up in the top lane, we do still have, you know, a partial siege camp and the catapult pressure here, so that'll eventually do some work here. But here comes the flank coming from Malthael, gets rooted in the back and takes massive damage from the Jaina, and the confirmed kill coming out as Mal'Ganis using that carrion swarm here. Biotic emitter used, and Johanna trying to go the wrong way on the conveyor belt. Chastise not quite able to land, but the Howling Blast does, and Fear running away. And the the Planet Cracker just not lasting long enough. I think they turned it off, but with that Leap of Faith was into the Planet Cracker. They could have gotten some more damage there. Galderais making use of the active reload, popping off those healing darts, but it doesn't matter. 3 kills now coming out for Clouded Mines, and Galderais as well making it 4. That's going to be the bottom keep for sure, possibly game, as level 20s are available here for Clouded Mines. And they are making their way to the core now. Anduin doesn't have a ton of mana, so it is possible that this Kael'thas and Malthael combo could spread out some damage. It's gonna be tough though. I don't know. 30%. This core's going down. Looks like Clouded Mines taking an additional victory now, going up 2-0 over 2Calculated2Throw. All right, all the cards are on the table. This is the last chance for 2Calculated2Throw to come back and bring this to a longer series here. In the regular season, when 2Calculated2Throw and Clouded Mines faced up, Clouded Mines, 2Calculated2Throw, 2Calculated2Throw actually won 2-1 in that series. Clouded Mines being one of 2 teams that actually took a map off of 2Calculated2Throw. But tonight, so far, it's been mostly the Clouded Mines show. Certainly, 2Calculated2Throw has had some good team fights. They had a lot of pressure in the early game. But as it got later and later, it just became more difficult for them to deal with that pressure coming out from the damage of, you know, the Jaina combos, the Anduin roots, the Arthas roots, the Mal'Ganis sleeps. And it's difficult to have a flank from a Malthael. It's not like a flanking Imperius or a Blaze or somebody, you know, even a Leoric, somebody that can really, you know, lock down a team for a period of time, say into a Planet Cracker. So having the flanking Malthael, I think, really just provided Clouded Mines an opportunity for a kill, because, you know, he doesn't have that lockdown, and his damage, you know, he's not Tormented Souls, for example, where he wants to be right up in the middle of all 5 of them, you know, spreading that, healing himself and all that stuff. I think that, you know, Tormented Souls could have been another option for them. I don't know that it's the better option, but with that style of play, maybe. Especially, the other thing is, especially the way that Clouded Mines was playing. The way that Clouded Mines played, they got a lot of value. 2Calculated got a lot of value out of the living bombs from Kael'thas, out of the flame strikes. And so I think, you know, in that circumstance, maybe that changes things. But hey, it is what it is. So we're up 2-0. Clouded Minds over 2Calculated2Throw. This is a best of 5. So there is at least one more game tonight. Thoroughly12845, I appreciate the follow, and Silvara for the bits. As always, much appreciated. Welcome everybody. Some names I have not seen out there before, so glad that you could join us as you're here to cheer on the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational participants. This is the second to last game of the season. Now, if you're interested in this event, the final game of the season is tomorrow. It'll be the other division, the Moon River division, between Regen Phoenix and Tickle Me Tassadar. Coincidentally, the number 1 and number 2 seeds out of the Moon River divisions. I happen to be very familiar with one of those teams. And it looks like we're going to go to Infernal Shrines. And this was the pick, I'm guessing, of, once again, Clouded Minds. So let's go ahead and pop that up here, and then I will show you the maps again. Where are the teams from? I mean, they're North American teams. You know, they are. I believe that Clouded Minds is primarily a Western U.S. team. 2Calculated2Throw is primarily an Eastern U.S. team. As far as, you know, anything more than that, I'm not sure. Both of these teams are also participating in the Nexus Gaming Series. The Clouded Minds are in the Division B, not B, C, and I believe, yeah, actually, so is 2Calculated2Throw. So they're both Division C, both graduating from Division D of last season in NGS. And in the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational, the teams were broken up based on a number of factors. And these teams were kind of expected, based on their performance in other matches, to be where they are, near the top of this overall bracket. They've both played very well. And let's see if we are getting a switch. Okay, so we are going to stick with this team setup. So the same one that we saw last round. Ah, this is crazy. My other sunglasses broke, the ones that actually would be fine for this. So it is what it is with that. Caster. All right, you know what? Let's take a look here. What did we do for map bans? So as you can see, this is a very red selection here. The initial bans coming out from 2Calculated2Throw, we had Alterac Pass, Towers of Doom. So those maps are out. Done. Can't have them. On the side of Clouded Minds, they banned out Battlefield of Eternity and Cursed Hollow. So also, not going to see those. Our first map was Brax's Holdout. All of these have been picked and won so far by Clouded Minds. Map number 2 we just saw was Volskaya Foundry. And then, as you may be able to hear, Infernal Shrines is coming up. But while we wait for those bans here, let's take a look at these standings. So once again, 2Calculated2Throw in their initial round defeated Do It Right 2-1. In the regular season, they defeated them 2-0. On the lower half of the bracket there, Clouded Minds defeated the Zul'jin Distillery 2-0. So that's all there really is for this. Not a lot. But I'll show you the standings as well. Again, just to show you how they got here. 19 points out of 2Calculated2Throw, so nearly a perfect season. As the 21 is the highest that they could have gotten. Clouded Minds sitting at 16, so a little bit behind ultimately, but still a very good season out of the number 2 seed. And here we are on the draft. So continuing on with the Junkrat bans, along with the Kira. First time you've seen this channel. Yeah, so So, okay, so fair enough. So, yeah, so I do a variety of casting. I am the head caster for Nexus Gaming Series, which is an amateur league. The Zul'jin Distillery Invitational is a kind of a subsection of that. It's a smaller off-season event. The Nexus Gaming Series is starting on Monday, December 2nd. I think all of these teams are actually participating in that. And so, you know, this is kind of a thing for many of the teams to participate in. It's run by DeWitt, who is the captain of the Zul'jin Distillery team. We're going to see Gul'dan as the first pick up here. But we have a pretty wide variety, both in this and in a couple of other series like Heroes Lounge and all that stuff, that of casters, amateur casters who, you know, just do this because for the love of the game, as they say. Just something it's fun to do. It gives us something to talk about. And, you know, sometimes we put on a shirt and tie. But we're going to see Stukov and Johanna. So in my conversation there, I did skip over a couple of things going on. So we had some bans. Sticking with that Junkrat ban, we got the Kael'thas ban. And that doesn't surprise me. I mean, Kael'thas was pretty impactful in that game overall, but on top of that, Infernal Shrines, it's very easy to spread living bombs off of the Shrine minions. We're going to see Falstad for the first time tonight, so... And there's the Garrosh that I mentioned could have come up earlier, so... Really rounding out the tank options here for X-Havoc. Yeah, no worries. You know what? So thoroughly feel free to, you know, if you want to send me a direct message or something, we can chat a little bit about, you know, what that amateur hot scene looks like, if you'd like to, you know, chat about that. But yeah, I mean, there are a variety of different events out there that have amateur opportunities for individuals and for teams to, you know, to give you a little bit of a different style of play, as opposed to just having to play Storm League. Anduin gonna be the third ban here, and that's pretty solid. You know, the Garrosh Anduin, also a Falstad with a living bomb. It's not the word I want. Light bomb. There we go. Light bomb. And you know what? If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So going back into the Raynor Jaina worked just fine for them the last round. And with Zednam now going to be on the Johanna, that's going to help them even more to bring people together with the Condemn. So we need some lockdown for that Garrosh, which is why, partially why the Anduin's gone.
Let's save some lives. Do your worst.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel a little bit like, so I don't know what they're going for yet. I'm sure there's a plan. I don't know what it is other than the opportunity to have a medevac to get around quickly on the map. Because you do have Falstad flight. You've got Yrel, who is going to have the potentially quick rotations with her level 7, I think. So this is going to give the opportunity, anyways, for, you know, Gul'dan and Garrosh to get around the map quickly. On this, you know, on the side of Clouded Minds, that's easy, right? They're just gonna brute force it. They've got Jaina for the wave clear. They've got Raynor to help with the ace in the hole, so he's gonna have that single target damage. He's gonna have the knockbacks. So it's not really like a juice level of siege, so I don't see that likely being the case. There's no real good stim targets unless, I guess, maybe they could go Falstad. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? New Age Juice Pirates? It could be. You know what? Just, I mean, you could go in with the Gul'dan, you pop off the Reign of Corruption and Destruction. Reign of Destruction, rather. So we'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3 here, coming at you in this best of 5. This could be the last game of this series. Currently up 2-0, we've got Clouded Minds on the right. Swing going to be playing Jaina. Tiger on Imperius. Venus on the Rainer. Star Knight playing the Stukov, and Zednam on Johanna. And looking for their first victory in this series, we've got 2Calculated2Throw. Fear going to be playing the Falstad. Jurgen Derb on the Gul'dan. X Havoc on the Garrosh. Galdriais on the Lieutenant Morales, and Grievant on that Urel. Repsychic coming in with the big love. Tell one of the teams to run a Repsy comp. Sure, buddy. I'll get on that. Next game. All right, so there were some... I feel like there were some Falstad changes, just slight, but I don't remember what they were, so maybe they didn't actually happen. It was Seasoned Marksman. That was the change. But we're still going to go into that bribe talent here for Falstad, giving him the additional lightning rod damage, rather. Also going to see the grenade build out of Morales and the extra distance on Garrosh's throw, and damage, of course. Echoed Corruption, and I don't even know the name of this. Dauntless, given the physical armor. So that's going to be really helpful against that Rainer. And Rainer, of course, taking the ace in the hole, low blow out of Stukov, helping to secure those kills. Laws of Hope for Johanna, which is a little bit surprising. Just because of the Garrosh throws, I would think that the Iron Skin upgrade would have been great. What else do we have? We've got the Imperius taking the Valorous brand talent, so getting that % damage, and that's going to be really strong against a Garrosh. If he doesn't just get thrown, that's the other concern. And of course, Frostbite out of Jaina. So pretty standard level 1 picks, I think, overall. Garrosh is being, a little bit different. For the longest time, it was that Groundbreaker talent. They made some changes and, basically made things like body check actually potentially pickable, depending on what you were going into. But down here in the bot lane, we've got this 5v4. So nobody's up in the top here. And Swing taking loads damage, does get the heal off from Stukov here, but Grievant knocking them all back with that Hammer of Vengeance, I think. Maybe. Anyways, the knockback that Urel does. And this camp is taking a lot longer than I expected, as they did get the soak from the Urel, but check out the Blizzard and the Silence just doing tons of work. And while the camp was picked up, the XP slightly in favor here of Clouded Minds on the right. Siege camp was picked up, so they've got some damage on the wall. Also up in the top lane, Imperius just been soaking his way, getting that damage. Not in love with low blow, says Repsychic. Growing Infestation, it could be fun. Okay, fair enough. All right, so Urel and Johanna down here in the bot lane. But 2Calculated's already on the point, and they do have pretty solid wave clear coming out of this Gul'dan, so he is already almost halfway through for this. Zednam doesn't have a whole lot of mana, but the throw onto Venus and Rainer getting knocked back is going to be the first kill of the game, and this is 2Calculated's first time, I think, getting the first blood in this series. And once again, Zednam has almost no mana, so this is a very difficult fight for them to initiate into. That was calculated on the side of 2Calculated2Throw to make sure that they were able to go into that fight pretty well full health and catch that Venus, throwing him over and ultimately getting that kill. And well done on Grievant's part to hit that knockback, or maybe it was Galdriais actually with the grenade. I think that's actually more likely. I don't think Grievant was quite in position for that. But we do have these walls coming down. The Punisher all the way in the back, getting some damage onto the tower. Not a ton. I mean, it's about 20% or so of that fort. But you know what? The wall's down, and it sets them up with level 7, getting the XP out of those turrets here. So it is going to be the Divine Steed from Urel. So she's going to have that instant cast mount with the burst of movement speed here, so she's going to have those quick rotations that I mentioned earlier. Morales also does provide, you know, that medevac is essentially just similar to an ice block, just with a health more, I guess more like Chrysalis in a way. But that silence growing and making it very difficult here. Grievant falling very low is going to be able to hop out using that Avenging Wrath to get out of the danger coming in from that Jaina. And Jaina going into a little bit more traditional build here, going to have the piercing frostbolts, and I think, you know, on a map like this, that's almost required because of the fact that you're going to have those Shrine Defenders for a lot of these team fights, and you want your frostbolts to land. Good defense there from Grievant, and Tiger getting in with that Celestial Charge here. Your Term just getting deleted, and that's going to be a great camp invade from Clouded Mines as they get 2 kills and the Siege Camp. And I think that showcases really well what I was talking about earlier with Malthael is, you know, that Imperius came on to the point. If that was Malthael stands there and they kill him. But Imperius came in, was able to charge in, get a stun. They were able to lock down the Gul'dan and just destroy him in a very quick fashion. Even with the Yrel knocking everybody back on, you know, the Johanna back on the initial engage, that Imperius allowed for Clouded Mines to have the time necessary for the rest of the team to show up. But here comes the jump and the stun, the Groundbreaker stun. It looks like the throw not quite hitting the target they wanted, as the Iron Skin used from Johanna, keeping her out of danger. And Falstad doing what he can. Oh, but there's that Celestial Charge, and good night. That Valorous Brand, it doesn't seem like it should do that much damage. It's 2.5% per stack, but that's in addition to the damage that he does with whatever else he's doing. So that is a significant burst of damage, even onto somebody like a Falstad. But here we go. 2Calculated2Throw coming in here. This is a 4v5, so there's the Celestial Charge here onto 2. And Yrel is right up in the thick of things here. Garrosh trying to survive long enough here. Swing gonna be the first kill. The camp is gonna go over to Clouded Mines as level 10 coming up. We do have the Hyperion coming down, and it's gonna get the kill onto the Garrosh. Everybody on Clouded Mines is so very low thanks to the Gul'dan damage. And yeah, apparently Gul'dan was able to kill the Jaina as well in there. So we're gonna get the backs from Clouded Mines as they need to head back. They have no health. Oh, right, by the way, Stukov things. And let's keep an eye on what's going on here. So we do have the medevac coming in from 2Calculated2Throw here as Galdraice going for that either mobility or the ice block. We have the Horrify, Gust of Wind. I expect to see a Warlord's Challenge here in an Ardent Defender, but you know what? Who knows? There's the Ardent Defender. On the other side, so we did see the Hyperion, of course, from Raynor. There's that Blessed Shield, Ring of Frost, Wrath of Angiris, and the Flailing Swipe. So we got some disengage opportunity. A lot of damage going in onto the wall in the fort here. But Medevac used again to give them that global opportunity to make their way around the map. And in good timing, too, as we do have Clouded Mines heading up there. So since they kind of, I don't want to say they got baited, but since they got pulled up there, they don't get this fort now, right? I don't think. And then they've got the Shaman camp there going in the top lane. So they'll get some damage up into that top wall at least. And now we'll see the rotation here from 2Calculated2Throw is going to take a little bit longer for them to get up here, of course, than it did originally going down. And Zednam's going to throw... hold this bush. So they traded, they did get half of the bottom fort. They get the top fort, they got the top camp. So a lot of value, you know, from the side of Clouded Mines getting that Punisher. And it is Decimate. Yes, for Psychic. Let's see, getting them intermittent armor on the raid team. Yeah, it probably is. It is, right there. The physical armor from Stukov here. Now, Falstad may be looking for a gust here. Does get a pretty big hammer there with the boomerang. And there's a big fear. That ring coming out here, that gust setting that up here. X Havoc coming out, trying to get the stun onto Raynor. They do, but the kill onto Falstad. And Garrosh is going to fall, but not before also getting the kill onto Stukov, I think is who they got there. Galderai is in a bit of danger here, and Grievin going in, does not care. Says, you know what, I got Ardent Defender, I'm okay. And that's a 4 for 2 trade. That's a huge value play from 2Calculated2Throw. But they need to do more than just clear a lane. They've got to get pressure mounting somewhere. So they're going to start going in on this aggressive camp. Now, Imperius is close by. So is Johanna. So they're going to go ahead and bail out of this. Vegetable juice pirates. This is the vegan option. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Vegetable juice pirates. All right, so nobody's holding this bush, so Imperius coming in. He does have a Celestial Charge, but he's not going to go in 4v1. Not this time. But that will give Clouded Minds here the I want to go out. The opportunity to get their siege camp as well. So both of those siege camps going in the mid lane. And both teams now coming in. This is a 3v5 here, though. And Imperius is going to dive in onto the Gul'dan. Gul'dan going to get pulled up by the Wrath of Angiris. Silence going down in the gust. Not in time to save Gul'dan here. There's the Ardent Defender. Galderai's in just danger. She's just died. And now Garrosh here with 40 health is going to get caught and taken out by Raynor. Falstad going to make it away from Tiger. Trying to get that last Solarian's Fire, I believe is what that's called, to secure the kill, but not quite able to make it as the middle Punisher coming up here. Mortar Punisher is going to be the case, and keep in mind again, there's still a siege camp here. So after clearing that out, that siege camp is going to get a little bit of value in the mid lane. Start prepping for this Punisher. Now what I would like to see them do is have somebody clearing the shrine, but also working on the damage here, clearing out this lane and getting this tower, maybe even getting some damage onto the fort. Everybody's up on the side of 2Calculated2Throw. They're on the same talent tier. In case I didn't show those 13s earlier, we don't have a 13 from Falstad, which is a little surprise. There it is. Almost 2 levels in. But it's going to be Punisher going over here to Clouded Mines, and they're coming in on an aggressive camp invade here. Now, Falstad's not here, so this is a potentially big value play for them, although he is going to make it here soon. And a gust here into these 5 into this corner could be just absolutely devastating, but not quite able to get there. So instead, they're going to focus on getting this Punisher. Punisher should have a leap here in a couple of seconds. And everybody's in front of this gate, so they've got to, yeah, they're pulling back. They recognize this. Jurgendrub's going to bait the Punisher. It's going to stun both the Gul'dan and the Garrosh here. Garrosh looking for a throw. Actually throws them away. But I think it was just a minion here. Hyperion being used to help with that siege. What, Yamato cannon, I think is what it's called. And here comes Wrath of Angiris, but it doesn't connect onto the Morales. And the Gust of Wind also just missing as Imperius walks his way out. And gives the 16 advantage now over to Clouded Mines. 2Calculated2Throw has got to find a way to make this comp work for them. They still have medevac. They haven't really been able to put themselves into a position to make value of that because, well, okay, where are we going? Down here? So I'm really not entirely sure of the goal here. They're gonna come down here, but they could have walked down here, and that just puts that medevac on cooldown. So I mean, this might be the play they're looking for. They are 16s on both sides, and they're just gonna face check that bush, and that's gonna be a dead Falstad. Make it 2 here in a moment. Oh, I'm sorry, Ardent Defender going out as Horrify is well used. Decimate going off in the background here, but Grievin is very likely just dead here. A lot of damage coming from Gul'dan. But Stukov is just spreading that that disease around, and it's looking very likely that Morales dies here. So that's a 3-for-nothing trade here from the side of Clouded Mines, and they're going to make their way up into mid lane, clear up this Minion wave. Maybe? Nope, they'd rather go top. Nope, they don't know what they want to do. Their minds are too clouded. They don't know which lane they want to push. So they are going to come up into the top lane where there is a wall that gives Jürgen the opportunity to get some corruption damage out there. But again, the Stukov getting value out of that Pustule, and Wrath of Angiris once again kind of the mini Stitches level of play there, pulling the Gul'dan into the team. And this is looking very dangerous for 2Calculated2Throw. Their biggest potential damage and one of their biggest CCs is currently out of the game for 30 seconds, sitting in the penalty box. But Clouded not opting to go for that core. Instead, they want to get this this mid keep down as well. Big silence here. You can see X Havoc going, trying to, I guess, slow down the assault, but the keep's down. Imperia's gonna get the kill onto Morales, and this could be the beginning of what could have happened just a moment ago here, as with no heals now, 2Calculated2Throw is in big danger, and now that doesn't secure them the victory. Never mind. And I don't know. I would have thought no tank and no healer, but instead they're gonna soak some minions. All right, so we've got catapults. We've got the Celestial Charge onto the Gul'dan. Oh, big gust. Keeping the Gul'dan alive. But there is catapult pressure on the core now, and a 5 versus 3. Some kind of miracle level play has to happen here, and it's not going to happen with a Wrath of Angiris keeping Yrel locked down. Horrify goes out, but again, these catapults are just doing work, and that's going to be a 3-0 victory in the finals for Zul'jin Distillery Invitational for Clouded Minds. Oh no, Recyclic, I hope you didn't miss out on too much of the actions there. 6 to 15 on the kills. Let's check out these talents. All right, and you know what? Let's see if we can't get a quick interview with the Clouded Minds. Hey, you are welcome for the cast, Grievant. Thanks for participating. Appreciate it. Again, thank you for the sub earlier, as always. Alrighty, so it sounds like we're gonna get a full squad here tonight. And they should be joining us momentarily. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's everybody?
Yeah, we came in to visit you.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining me. Congratulations, everybody. You guys succeeded in ultimately winning yet another championship.
Yeah, it feels good to win 2 in a row, I'll tell you.
No doubt. So I gotta say, I wasn't surprised to see Junkrat bans all night, because Junkrat is just an OP hero at this point. I think he provides so much value. But you guys really kind of went into the Kael'thas. You had the Arthas, and these maps that you were playing are very friendly maps for those kinds of heroes, but they're also friendly for heroes like Azmodan, which you made great use of on game number 1. And I want to point that out because I'm just going to start with Weenus as my good buddy, my good BlizzCon buddy. So Weenus, I've seen you play Azmodan a few times. How much do you love Azmodan, and why should everybody be playing him?
Well, apparently I play Azmodan wrong, according to Bahamut, and I always get grief over my talents. And they probably are the wrong talents, but I like hitting heroes with globes more than hitting minions, so but I do love Azmodan quite a bit. In fact, I got an Azmodan piece of art procured from an artist, and smacking himself with a fly swatter on his big old booty. So that's how much I love Asmodan, quite a bit.
Well, fair enough. And you know, you're gonna miss this in the cast because I didn't get to do it, but I'll throw this out for you now. I got my weenus chicken.
You started a chain reaction.
So you guys, in the regular season, you guys fell to this team at 2-1. How much different was this series? Obviously, you know, you won all 3 games, but how much different? What did you do differently in this series to allow you to be successful in all 3 games?
Swing.
We all shaved to be more aerodynamic.
I didn't shave. This is no shave November.
I mean,
We banned Junkrat.
It was Junkrat just the answer to the whole equation? You guys just lost because of
I think
Junkrat
that's what
in round 1?
decided, yeah.
Junkrat was a hero they played against us all 3 matches last time, and that was a very consistent thing that they've shown. And they were just like, yeah, no, we're not going to deal with this today.
we had Weenus's amazing soundboard.
Wait, does Weenus use his soundboard in the middle of matches?
Hey, when-
Okay, so wait. So I'm just imagining Weenus versus Malthael, game 2. He gets the kill onto Malthael. What's the soundboard for that, Weenus?
Oh, I can't play the one I want to play, but I'll just play.
Fair enough.
And every time they had some good fights, and every time they would wipe us, it's a.
I knew that was gonna be it. Perfect,
And then we want,
absolutely perfect.
And then sometimes we want justice.
There you go. Fair enough. Well, that's awesome. And, you know, I do have to say, at first, I was not thinking of Kira in the solo lane there on that Braxis holdout game. But as soon as I saw your last pick, which of course was the Asmodan, it just seemed to fit, especially into a Rexar. Have you played that matchup much, Tiger?
Yeah, I play Kira more than my friends would probably want me to, because sometimes I feed like a madman. But yeah, I've played Kira against. I think Kira is probably the best solo laner in the game right now, because she's got self-sustain, does a ton of damage, and against Rexar, you need something that can get to the actual man rather than the bear. So it really helps a lot. So yeah, I knew that was a winning fight against a Rexar with a Kira.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough. And so Swing, you had what I think was. Wait, Swing wasn't. Star Knight. I'll come back to you, Swing. So Star Knight, I think that in game number 2, you almost never see Salvation, and especially not into a team that has a triple interrupt threat like the Ana, Kael'thas, Johanna that they had. So, I mean, obviously that was there for the Pyroblast and the Last Rites, but going into that kind of a team, how concerned were you that ult was going to become like a 0 value ult?
I honestly wanted to go Light Bomb because Tiger and I had practiced a couple things and you know, Light Bomb was kind of good for a couple heroes that he likes playing. But I basically said, we'll see who gets to 10 first. They got to 10 first. So I just kind of pivoted off of what Swing suggested, and she suggested the Salvation. And that, you know, in one of those, I forget which Avenger movie it was, where Captain America's like, we know you want Infinity War, but there's one thing you gotta learn: patience. That was basically my entire mantra for Anduin whenever I play Salvation. Like, that all, I have to have so much patience, and I just have to wait just for the right moment to actually do it. Otherwise, it's just gonna be.
And I have to say, it paid off in the end because you saved our butts a couple times. Good work.
After I literally just decided to yell at you for like
Thank
I heard this angelic
Star,
voice yell from
for
the heavens,
picking that,
saying,
even though I
"Stay
didn't want
here."
Yeah, during one of the times, he's like, "Everybody, stay put." We all stayed in there. We're like, "Okay, we got."
Now, was that the time that the living bomb spread to you guys in the bot lane? I think it was.
No,
Okay.
no, this was whenever KT threw the pyroblast and they had Tiger had already used his ult to mitigate the last. So this is like for the
Tiger's like, I'm dead, and he's like, stay put.
Oh, I'm alive.
And everyone's just like, okay, all right, fine, whatever. Let this guy.
I do have to say, and I don't want to, pull on Tiger's chain too much here, but there was a play where they used both Pyroblast and Last Rites on the Mal'Ganis into the Carrion, the Carrion Swarm was going off when those spells were going off as well. And it just completely negated. I was like, wow, either that was super lucky or super amazing. So we'll say that it was super amazing.
Yeah, let's go with amazing. I like that.
And there was, Zednam, you had a blessed shield in that game too, on the Mal'Ganis interrupting his Night Rush, getting that kill. You guys, that game at the beginning looked very strong for 2Calculated. They played it really well. They had structure damage. They got that first protector from you guys, and I even mentioned it. Swing at that point in the game, getting into that had 0 chill damage on stacks so far, right? So it was very, very much in favor of them. And then, shortly thereafter, you guys got your ultimates and you start, making these amazing Carrion Swarm dodges and things like that. And you just kind of ran away with it. It was just your game. The lockdown from the Ring of Frost was absolutely clutch. And the follow-up was always there, whether it was a Howling Blast coming from Zednam or the Chastise roots. You guys were able to knock out the Phoenix. So, do you guys ever struggle at all with the challenges that an early game like that, where you're kind of behind, do you ever struggle with that? And, is there anything that you do to kind of keep your head in the game? That's for anybody.
Yeah, I'll take this one. We've been playing for a while now, so we've had a number of games like that, and we know that if you're down and you get down on yourself and start not focusing on the comeback, then you're going to lose, definitely. So I think we've grown as a team, and because of that, we're able to just be down and be okay with it and just say, hey, we still got this, man. We got ults coming. This is our next move, and let's take it one step at a time.
Well, and it definitely seemed like, especially in that third game, as a team, when you guys won fights, whether it was the early camp invade with, they started off really well, keeping Johanna knocked back. The rest of the team was a little bit behind, but the flank coming in from Imperius, really getting the kill onto Gul'dan and everything. Whether it was that moment or elsewhere in that game, that game I think showcased this really well. When you won a team fight, you got something out of it, and that was 2Calculated struggled a little bit with that, especially in that third game, because you had gotten so much out of it. So every time you even if you lost a fight, maybe they went to get a camp, but you were there to deal with it. So, you guys played a really solid series tonight. I really look forward to seeing you guys in the next season of NGS and presumably in XGDI when that comes around next as well. Anything that you guys want to shout out to Twitch chat or say hi to somebody's mom or anything like that?
Yeah, we're looking for a Fireball sponsor. So if anyone's out there and wants to sponsor us with some free Fireball, that'd be great.
Actually, I checked into that, and it's against Blizzard terms of service, so that's unfortunate. But shout out to Valk's mom, and of course, 2Calculated2Throw, all of the 2Calculated teams. A lot of really good, fun people that just love to play games and are really good sports and are great in the community. So we really like those guys.
Yeah,
and of course
thanks
to you for the
casting.
cast. Yes, and the cast.
And thanks for DeWitt for putting on this entire tournament. It's a lot of work, I know. And this was a great little off-season tournament for us. So thanks for all DeWitt and everyone who was involved in that.
And also thanks to Double and Hari for stepping in for us this off season for the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. It was a lot of fun to play with everybody that we don't necessarily always get to play with. So it was fun to actually compete with everybody on our roster.
Did I get everybody? Zednim, did you say anything? I think you did, right?
No. I just want to give a shout out to Mal'Ganis and his amazing sleeps. That's about it.
So what do you guys have planned coming up?
Drinking. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's completely reasonable.
Well, we got coming up. We got the NGS season starting next week, I think. So we're gonna start practicing for that. We moved up from Div D to Div C, so we're expecting some tougher competition and probably to lose some games. So we're trying to get prepared for that, and yeah, we're excited about the next season.
Good deal. Well, I know at least some of you guys are in the US, so I hope you guys have a great holiday weekend with Thanksgiving. And I think let's go ahead and wrap it up for the night. I appreciate you guys stopping by. And again, congratulations. Just, cutting letters out of words here. On your victory over 2Calculated2Throw and your finals of the XGDI.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks for casting.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
You're welcome.
much.
Boy.
Cheers.
All right, everybody, that's going to be it for tonight. But there is still one match left in the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. You know what? I'm not looking at that screen anymore, so put the shades back on. One match left tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Another best of 5. It'll be the finals of the Moon River division of the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. And that is going to be between the number 1 seed Regen Phoenix versus number 2 Tickle Me Tassadar. Going to be an exciting... Oh, I didn't give them their point. It's going to be an exciting match. You don't want to miss it. And you can find that match set up at twitch.tv/Ektar. ECTAR. Again, that'll be starting at 9 o'clock. And that'll be the last game of the season for the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. So if you're interested in checking out this event or some of the other events, as I was mentioning to Thoroughly there, certainly feel free to send me a message in a DM in Twitch, and we'll have a chat. So thanks again, everybody, for joining. And let's see if there's anybody currently active here doing hot stuff. What is this? Let's mute this. You know what? I don't know what they're doing, but Nexus Commentaries is doing something, so we'll send all you guys over there. Oh, it's a scrim, it looks like. They're doing a PTR scrim. You know what? That's really good. That's great. So let me send you over there so that you can check out what's coming to the Nexus here in the near future. But thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you again soon.